And welcome back to the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. First of 3 days of broadcasts. Broadcasting today from the Case IH exhibit. We will have some bonus coverage right after our broadcast. If you want to join us on the internet at agritalk.com, we'll have more information for you right after our broadcast wraps up here on AgriTalk. And joining us now is Dan Klein with Case IH. We want to talk about combines. Even though we're kind of focusing on getting the crop planted, you have to be thinking about harvesting it this fall as well. And Dan, I know you've got a cutaway combine that's getting a lot of interest here at the Farm Machinery Show.
Yeah, basically what we got is a cutaway combine, our AxiFlow cutaway. It's our 20 series machine, trying to show some of the new technology we have with that unit, trying to get customers, remove all the outside shielding and say what really makes my combine work, but also how does that really tie into getting more money in my pocket and ultimately more grain in the bin. So, pulling all the outside shielding apart, we're really able to walk through from feeder to spreader and say, adjusting here, it will help you improve your grain quality, will help you get more throughput through your machine, and ultimately more money in your pocket.
It's amazing how far we've come with combines, and you're striving to obviously have the machine perform better as far as handling the harvest, but also you want operator ease and comfort and safety and just easier access. So all that's taking place with combines now.
Yep, and this really ties into that concept. This is what really makes the machine work. We've taken the simplicity approach, trying to make it as simple as possible to not only to set, to adjust, to get the performance out of the machine, but also to work on it. It's an unfortunate thing, but mechanical things will break down, and how are you going to react to it when that does happen?
What is the focus of Case IH as we look ahead to this year's harvest as far as combines are concerned?
With the different trends in genetics and yields, from a corn and bean producer, it's the new technologies in the drapers, the corn heads. We've had coming off of two completely different seasons from the corn head business. One really tough season that had some really tough green stocks, and one really dry where you had a little more trash to accumulate, on the header and stuff. So trying to work in, new designs, new technologies, improve the performance, and with the price of corn right now, butt shelling and cleaning up that throughput capacity is, going to pay off for everyone.
That weather variability and the challenges that go with it, a farmer is going to be looking for a machine that can handle about anything and still perform well.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. It used to be when corn was $2 to $3 a bushel. It was, you're able to sacrifice a little bit more head loss or out the back end to get more productivity. When you're talking 5, 6, and who knows where it's going to go from here, it's a big change. Those couple kernels on the ground over a couple thousand acres really add up to a lot of money now. So, really focus on trying to get the most productivity out of the machine, but not sacrifice anything on grain loss.
Fuel costs are starting to rise again, so a lot of concern, a lot of emphasis on fuel efficiency.
Yep. It's a big focus on our part. The bigger machines will take more, gallons per hour, but you're getting more done. You have to weigh both the risk of getting more done with the weather, coming in, depending on what type of season we have. But looking at some of the technology with the new engines, what they got coming on tractors, we'll be having Tier 4 and SCR, really focusing in on that grain or the fuel economy, but also tying it down to dollars per bushel, because that's really what matters.
We know there's been a demand for combines. You have to order early to get those combines, don't you?
Yes, you do. It's a a phenomenal year. Last few years, everyone's really been demanding more from their combines and upgrading it accordingly. So people are really looking out a lot further now, kind of being a little more proactive in what they're ordering. Coming off a good season with high prices, they're more apt to jump into a new combine, and our order board is really strong. Yeah.
And not only could they buy new, but I guess some are upgrading some of their older equipment.
That's exactly it. With the transition of new into the market, there's some really good opportunities, some good value, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year old machines that, maybe a few years ago, at 1,500 or 1,000 acre farmer wouldn't be into the machines they are right now. But looking at the ability to get it off sooner, and until that grain's in the bin, it's really not worth much to anyone. So, there is a lot of value in getting it off quicker that a typical new buyer or a smaller machine buyer can really be investing in the future.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. I think you're going to be busy here the next few days.
It's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Dan Klein with Case IH talking combines. Now we're going to switch to tractors. So let's bring in John Bohnker and I'm going to talk about Magnum tractors in particular. John, good to see you. I think same with you. I think you're going to be busy here for a few days.
We got a big crowd here today. I just got here about an hour ago and the place was already packed full. So there's a lot of people here looking for some equipment.
Well, we know equipment sales are going well. The higher commodity prices have certainly translated into strong equipment sales. What are you featuring with Magnum tractors?
With the Magnum series, we've got our new Tier 4 tractors that we're bringing to the market right now. I have two different series. I have a Magnum 180 to 225, bringing 150 to 195 horsepower, and I have all new Magnum 235 to 340, bringing a substantial more horsepower. We got the 195 up to 290 horsepower rated, and so we're bringing a lot of new features with that.
What about fuel efficiency on the Magnum?
Fuel efficiency is number one thing today, and the new tractors that we're bringing to the marketplace, substantial improvement in fuel efficiency. Our solution for Tier 4, we've gone down a route of being able to move the emission solutions downstream so we can go back up to the engine, dial it in for efficiency and power, and we can save at least 10% operating cost over our current tractors.
That's a big part as we move forward now in handling the environmental aspects as well as the fuel economy.
That's right. We're required by law to step up for some more emission controls. So this whole Tier 4A process that we're working through, again, we think we've gone down the right path and moving that emission stuff downstream. So we're not messing with the engine. The farmers like to see that engine running clean, cool, and giving them the power and efficiency they're looking for.
Our Magnum tractor, are they really moving now? We talk about, a lot of combines are moving and some of the other equipment. What about tractors?
The Magnum series tractors and the Steiger series, our order board is very strong. We're out a long ways right now. It looks to be another great year for farmers and for the equipment manufacturers.
And we talked about some of them. What are some of the other features that would make a Magnum tractor attractive to farmers right now?
We've made some major improvement in the cab. We now have a multi-control armrest in all of our tractors greater than 100 horsepower. And what I mean by that is, with a lot of research we did with customers, we found some very unique ways of how to operate this tractor. About 80% of our controls are right there in your fingertips of your hand. That the farmer can operate this whole tractor with just a touch of his hands. And the beauty is we got the same controls in our Puma series all the way through our Magnum and Steiger series. So you learn how to operate one tractor, and you really learn how to operate from 100 horsepower to 600 horsepower.
We have a lot of people listening right now that aren't farmers, and they're probably wondering, if they've never been in the cab, they don't understand what we're talking about. But the farmers listening know how important what you just talked about is.
Yeah, we have 6 major functions right in the palm of your hand and the handle. We have the throttle and the gear shift, so they can control the speed very well. We also have the ability to lift the number 1 hydraulic cylinders, lift the 3-point cylinders, do an end of row function, and a forward and reverse shuttle. So we can get most of the operations that they need to do right there in their hand.
Yeah, the key here is to make all that go as seamlessly and smoothly as possible so that they're not losing a lot of time.
That's right. We want to make the farmer as productive as possible here and making sure he's doing the work that he needs to out there, not just fumbling around trying to get the controls. We want the controls right there in his fingertips, easy access, great visibility so he can see the implements that he's pulling, making sure they're getting the work done that they need to be getting done in a day.
Over the years, we've seen tremendous advances with the transmissions on these tractors.
That's right. Transmissions continue to get more and more efficient. We've got some tests back from Nebraska Tractor Tests that's showing some substantial improvement in our entire powertrain, that we're gaining 3-4% efficiency there. Again, we're putting more power to the ground for what the customer's looking for.
Yeah, and of course, you're dealing with different needs by different farmers, so you have the equipment lineup that can match that equipment with those needs.
That's right. We actually have a couple different choices on the transmission. On our smaller series tractor, I have a variable transmission, a CVT transmission, that we can dial in to go from 60 foot an hour out to all the way up to 30 miles an hour. So, depending on what your needs are, if you need a slow creeper speed, we can get you there that speed, as well as get you out to the road speed and get you down the road faster.
Do you find that at a show like this that they're asking specific questions that kind of lead you to think that they are seriously looking?
With the commodity prices where they are today, there are some people looking to upgrade some equipment. They've been sitting, they've been paying off some other things over the last few years, getting their debt positions in the right spot. But there's some people really looking to upgrade some equipment, upgraded either to new, or there's a lot of people looking for that first used, getting some good used equipment out there right now as well. So there's a lot of interest today.
Amazing that the technology and the steering of a lot of this equipment, it's really changing quickly, isn't it?
The old auto guidance process, we're allowing the tractor to really do the steering and letting us be, as the manager, managing that equipment behind us, making sure we're getting the right work. It makes the day a lot more productive. When we get done with the day, we don't feel like we're stressed. We're able to take on the challenge the next day as well. So auto guidance has come a long ways to help us in a lot of processes.
And when we think of some of the weather challenges we've had recently, you never know how much of a window you're going to have to get that field work done. So that makes all these things we've talked about to keep the farmer productive while out there more important than ever.
Very much so. My cohorts on the tillage and planter side, they keep making a bigger anchor for us, right? They keep getting bigger equipment, and we get power to the ground to get that equipment to go. And we've got everything from the duals, front duals, all the way up to our quad track tractor on the Steiger, where we're able to get that power to the ground, take on those wet situations in the field like we've had the last few years, and be productive and get more work done.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you've had a lot of experience the last couple of years with all types of conditions.
You look across North America, and we've had all kinds of environments. There's been 2 or 3 years of pretty wet springs in certain areas, and then in certain areas we've had a lot of moisture in the fall. So, opportunity for better equipment all the way through there.
Afterwards, you can look back and say, well, that was a good thing that we had those challenges because we learned a lot from them. All right. Roger, thank you very much. Appreciate you being with us as we talk, or John, I should say. Thanks for talking with us about Magnum Track.
Thank you very much.
That's John Bohnker with Case IH. Coming up next, we're going to talk more about Case IH. We're going to talk crop production. We're going to talk about the Robo Sharpener and much more. Stay with us from the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. This is AgriTalk.